Morning students, welcome to social science class. Today we are going to do governance under Mughal Empire, that how Mughals govern on our country. Firstly in it we are going to do administration. Administration means how they ruled, which type of policies they followed to control over the people or to do the justice. ठीक है, different type of policies. So firstly administration. Mughals unite the whole country. Before Mughals, our country was divided into small parts, and Mughals managed to unite our country. It means only the single strong, powerful king was there to control the whole country. Okay, that were the Mughals. Those managed to unite the country politically. Okay, they used a mixed type of administration, a combination of administration of Indian as well as Persian. इंडियन एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन को क्यों यूज़ किया? दे यूज इंडियन एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन बिकॉज दे वर ruling over India and they had to take some policies of Indian administration. Okay, some policies of the ancient kings to please Indians. Okay, and they were Persian, so they just used Persian policies also. जो हम बचपन से देखते आते हैं, हम पर उनका इम्पैक्ट बहुत ज़्यादा होता है, तो मुगल्स उसी एरिया से आए थे. सो दे यूज्ड इंडियन एज वेल एज पर्शियन सिस्टम टू गवर्न ओवर एन एरिया. They established a uniform system. Uniform system means same system for the whole country. पूरी कंट्री के लिए उन्होंने एक सेम सिस्टम को यूज़ किया. इट इज़ नॉट लाइक दैट कि इन नॉर्थ इंडिया देर इज़ अनदर सिस्टम एंड इन साउथ इंडिया देर इज़ अनदर सिस्टम. दे यूज्ड द सेम यूनिफॉर्म सिस्टम. ओके, and the same thing as we have read in other chapters, that king was all powerful and the efficient minister or council of minister help him to take decisions. Very good. ठीक है, किंग पावरफुल था और उसकी हेल्प डिसीजन लेने में कौन करते थे? मिनिस्टर्स, डिफरेंट एफिशिएंट ministers, and he had a strong army. Okay, so ultimately the whole control, the total control was in the hand of king. Okay, they divided their area into provinces, into small parts that were called provinces, and Mughals call them सूबाज. ठीक है, एंड हेड ऑफ द सूबेदार सूबा वॉज कॉल्ड सूबेदार. क्लियर? दे अपॉइंटेड अ हेड to check the working of administration of that area, to control over that area. So, or that head was known as Subedar. The area was known as Suba, जिसे हम प्रोविंसेस कहते थे. ठीक है, उसे मुगल्स सूबा कॉल करते थे और सूबे का हेड सूबेदार. ओके, There was a person who was appointed to collect the land revenue. एक पर्सन को अपॉइंट किया गया लैंड रेवेन्यू कलेक्ट करने के लिए, एंड द पोस्ट ऑफ दैट पर्सन वॉज नोन एज दीवान. उसे क्या कहा जाता था? दीवान. ठीक है, जो पर्सन रेवेन्यू कलेक्ट करता था दैट पर्सन वॉज नोन एज दीवान. Okay, and there was also police system to maintain law and order in the city or in the suba. So the head that take care of the city, that looked after the peace and order, law and order in the city, was known as kotwal. कोतवाल मीन्स इंस्पेक्टर कह लीजिए, जो हमारी कॉमन लैंग्वेज में वी कैन कॉल इट इंस्पेक्टर. एट दैट टाइम इट वॉज कॉल्ड कोतवाल. ओके, तो हु वॉज कोतवाल? दैट लुक्ड आफ्टर द लॉ एंड ऑर्डर इन द सिटी. ओके, एंड दीवान collect the land revenue. Clear? I hope it is clear to you all. Akbar introduced Mansabdari system. Mansabdari system. What is Mansabdari system? This system was based on rank or position in the official post. जो ऑफिस में वर्क होगा या ऑफिस में किसको हाईएस्ट पोस्ट मिले उसके बाद कौन है, नेक्स्ट कौन. तो ये एक जो रैंकिंग थी, इसे वो मनसबदारी सिस्टम कॉल करते थे. ठीक है, मनसबदारी सिस्टम वॉज बेस्ड ऑन रैंकिंग सिस्टम इन द ऑफिशियल हायरार्ची. ओके, मनसबदार वर रिस्पॉन्सिबल for civil and military administration. It means Mansabdar has the total power of an area for the civil work or military work. Okay, and Mansabdars were recognized the higher position or the lower position with the men they appointed in their army, the quantity of horses with them. Okay, so these are the main points जिनके ऊपर हम किसी मनसबदार की हाईएस्ट और लोएस्ट पोजीशन को फाइंड आउट करते हैं. एंड दे पेड इन जागीर. उन्हें उनकी वर्किंग के लिए जागीर मीन्स लैंड, मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम लैंड प्रोवाइड की जाती थी, एरिया. ठीक है, और उस जागीर पर वो अपना कंट्रोल रखते थे. जो क्रॉप्स की प्रोडक्शन है वो भी उनके अकॉर्डिंग होती थी. ठीक है, और अपनी एक आर्मी भी मेंटेन करते थे जो वो किंग को प्रोवाइड करते थे व्हेन किंग नीडेड दैट आर्मी. ओके, सो दिस इज अबाउट द एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ Mughal. Clear? Next move to society and economy. In society, firstly religion was divided. One were Muslims and the other one were Hindus. Okay, and society was also divided into two levels. One is higher level and the other one is lower level. ठीक है, इन हायर लेवल वी कंसिडर नॉबल्स, दोज वर रिच पीपल और द रिलेटिव्स ऑफ किंग. ठीक है, नॉबल्स एंड हाई ऑफिशियल्स फॉर्म्ड द अपर क्लास और हायर क्लास. ओके, नॉबल्स और हायर ऑफिशियल्स फॉर्म्ड द अपर क्लास. दे लिव्ड अ लाइफ ऑफ लग्जरी. They have had a lot of money. They were the uh, reliables of king or relatives of king. Okay, so they were living a life of luxury. बहुत खुशी से बहुत अच्छा लाइफ को वो स्पेंड करते थे. दे हैव लॉट ऑफ मनी एंड बिग पैलेसेस और बिग एरियाज टू लिव. ओके, so they were happy. On the other hand, there were lower classes, and these lower classes were involved in agriculture and other lower jobs, cleaning jobs or slavery or servant, this type of jobs they are doing, small trading work. Okay, small businesses. And they lived a life of misery. Their life was miserable. बहुत दुखी थे वो लोग, और because they don't have the money, so their life was full of misery. Main source of state income was land revenue. Land revenue was the main source of income, and it was the third of the total produce. For example, I hope you have done ratio and proportion in maths. So we are going to divide this into three parts. अगर ये किसी फार्मर की प्रोडक्शन है तो उसका वन पार्ट was taken as the लैंड रेवेन्यू. उसके पास ये टू पार्ट्स रहते थे फार्मर के पास, एंड वन पार्ट वॉज टेकन एज लैंड रेवेन्यू. ओके, एंड इट वॉज कॉल्ड खलीसा. ओके, द स्टेट लैंड वॉज नोन एज खलीसा. Trade was well developed as Indian goods were exported to different areas. Export means sent out, बाहर भेजना, किसी दूसरी कंट्री में भेजना. The things were sent to the different countries of the Asia, Africa and European areas. Many European countries came to India for trading work. Mughals allowed them to do trade in our country, and these were from Portugal, Dutch, and they were English people or the Britishers. Okay, Mughal emperors encouraged trade by building sarais, roads, etc. Mughal kings just built sarais for the traders so that they can live there. Okay, and roads for good transportation. Mughals did many things to encourage trade. Okay, so again सोसाइटी टू लेवल्स में डिवाइड थी, हायर लेवल और लोअर लेवल. हायर लेवल में नॉबल्स थे, रिलेटिव्स थे, हाई ऑफिशियल्स थे किंग के, और लोअर लेवल में कॉमन पर्सन्स थे, और वो मोस्टली एग्रीकल्चर में और अदर लोअर जॉब्स में इन्वॉल्व थे. उनकी कंडीशन मिजरेबल थी और नॉबल्स की कंडीशन बहुत अच्छी थी. दे लिव अ लाइफ ऑफ लग्जरी. एग्रीकल्चर का वन पार्ट जो था वो फिक्स्ड था लैंड रेवेन्यू में, एंड द स्टेट लैंड वॉज नोन एज खलीसा. ट्रेड वॉज वेल डेवलप्ड, बहुत अच्छा ट्रेड था. हम एक्सपोर्ट कर रहे थे दूसरी कंट्रीज़ में, अपनी चीज़ों को भेज रहे थे. ठीक है, और फॉरेन कंट्रीज़ के जो रिप्रेजेंटेटिव थे, जो कंपनीज थी, वो भी इंडिया में आए फॉर ट्रेड. एंड मुगल्स built sarais and roads to develop the trade. Okay, so I hope you all understand the concept. इस चीज़ को आप समझेंगे अच्छे से और रीड करेंगे. ओके, नेक्स्ट इज रिलीजन. Religion. Mughals followed Muslim religion or Islam. Okay, they followed Islam, and Akbar was the first Mughal emperor who adopted a policy of religious tolerance towards non-Muslims. जितने भी नॉन मुस्लिम थे उन सबको बहुत ज़्यादा डिस्क्रिमिनेशन फेस करना पड़ता था, बट इट वॉज अकबर हु adopted a policy of non religion means a policy of religious tolerance. ठीक है, towards non मुस्लिम्स के लिए उसने एक religious tolerance की पॉलिसी को अडॉप्ट किया and built its empire a strong empire. He just set up a hall for worship which was open to believers of different religion like Jain, Hindus, Zoroastrians, Christians, etc. And that hall was called Ibadat Khana, where the discussion on the main points of different religion was held. इबादत खाना ऐसा हॉल था जहाँ पर हर रिलीजन के लोग आते थे और वो आपस में रिलीजन के लिए डिस्कस करते थे. जहांगीर एंड शाहजहां वर ऑल्सो टॉलरेंट टूवर्ड्स अदर रिलीजन, बट औरंगजेब वॉज अ स्टॉन्च मुस्लिम. औरंगजेब एक बहुत कट्टर मुस्लिम था एंड ही फोर्स्ड हिंदूज टू अडॉप्ट इस्लाम. He imposed jizya, that was a tax that non-Muslim people had to pay. ठीक है, people of other religion had to pay a tax that is called jizya. And his policy of religious intolerance weakened the Mughal Empire, as many Hindu or other religious people revolted against Aurangzeb. As we have read, Jats, Sikh and Marathas, those were against Mughals just because of their policy of religious intolerance. Aurangzeb's policy of religious intolerance. Okay, so this is about religion, that there were two main religion, Hindu and Muslim, and Mughal kings followed Islam, and only Akbar, the first person, Akbar adopted religious tolerance policy, and Shah Jahan and Jahangir also followed the same policy, but Aurangzeb followed the policy of religious intolerance. He imposed jizya on Hindus. He forced Hindus to follow Muslim rule or Islam. Okay. So this is about the religion. Next is literature, art and architecture. Many Indian works were translated into Persian or Arabic languages. Just like Rajtarangini, Mahabharata, Ramayana, Purans, all these great works that were in Sanskrit now translated into Arabic language. Babarnama, Akbarnama, Aina-e-Akbari. These were the important source of information of Mughals time period. Babarnama just gave us the information regarding Babur, Akbarnama, and Aina Akbari. We get information of that time when Akbar was the king. And Jahangir was also a scholar of Persian language. He wrote Tuzki Jahangiri, and by this book we can understand the condition of the people of that time period of Jahangir's rule and its administrative work. Okay, so these were the books wrote in that time: Tuzke Babri, Aina Akbari, Akbarnama, Babarnama, etc. Okay, there was a gem that was called Tansen, who was a famous musician or singer. We all know about him. Tansen, he was the famous jewel of Akbar's court, and so many other things were developed: artisan, poetry. Okay, so these things were developed in the time period of Mughal Empire. Mughals built many specimens of architecture. They just showed many different type of architecture. Akbar built famous Humayun Tomb in Delhi, Fatehpur Sikri, Buland Darwaza near Agra, and Jahangir laid beautiful gardens like Shalimar Bagh. शाहजहाँ ने बहुत सी डिफरेंट बिल्डिंग्स बनवाई: ताजमहल, लाल किला, रेड फोर्ट जिसको हम बोलते हैं, एंड ऑल्सो द पीकॉक थ्रोन. ओके, so they also did many work in the field of architecture. Aurangzeb was not in the favor of art. He felt that it was wastage of money and time. He was not in the favor of art, painting, or building different buildings. ठीक है. Jahangir was himself a painter. The literature, music, painting, architecture were at the zenith during the Mughal Empire. It means they just developed all these things. They developed music, literature, painting, architecture, all the things. So we can say that art and architecture was at its zenith, at its top level at the time of Mughal rule. Okay, so that's it for today. We have done the governance under Mughal rule. Read the topic from your book properly. Clear? Thank you and have a nice day.